Good afternoon, everyone. We're lively. I'll try to give you a respite from maybe some of the stuff you've been listening to talk about food, but mainly my origin and some of the things that influenced me to go down the path that I've gone down. It's certainly been unconventional. And I suppose to begin with, I'll go back to my growing up. I was born in the 60s, and so I grew up in London in the 70s, and that has to be one of the worst decades for food in this country. Really, really bad. I got really cross a few years ago because I think it was Chirac or Mitterrand said that Britain has the worst food in Europe, second only to Finland. So are there any Finnish people here? Apologies if I did that, but that was a pretty big insult. But I'd say in the 70s he was probably pretty accurate. And I remember there was only one type of pasta you could buy in the supermarket, and it was spaghetti in a blue wrapper. And olive oil, you couldn't buy that in a food shop. You had to go to the chemist. It's something you poured into your ears when they were blocked. And I remember the height of luxury was an avocado vinaigrette, which was just basically an avocado mashed up with cooking fat and a bit of vinegar for good measure. So things luckily have changed a lot since then, but my mum was and is a good cook. But I didn't grow up with gastronomy. I didn't know what an oyster looked like. We went to Cornwall every year for our holidays, and then one year we went to France, and my dad read about this 3 Michelin-starred restaurant in Provence, and it was the first time they'd ever been to a Michelin-starred restaurant before, and I was lucky enough that I went with my sister and my parents and had this experience. And this place was near a little village called Les Baux, and it was nestled at the foot of a bauxite cliff with a monastery on top. It was lit up at night, and I remember so vividly sitting under the trees. There was an olive grove in this valley, and you could hear the noise of the water running from the fountain in the background. And hang on a second. There's a very accurate depiction of that experience. And they had things like the noise of the feet of waiting staff crunching on the gravel, the sound of the crickets that filled the air, the smell of lavender that was just completely surrounded by this intoxicating smell. Sommelier had his big handlebar moustache and his leather apron, and the wine list was like something out of a Cecil B. DeMille film. I remember the cheese trolley the size of a chariot. They were pouring sauces into soufflés, carving legs of lamb at the table, the chink of glasses. I was just knocked for six, like I've fallen down some rabbit hole into Wonderland.